When asked the question of who the biggest jerk in baseball is, many might say Manny Machado, or at least used to. They'll call him dirty, bush league, and someone who doesn't have much integrity. Carlos Correa is another name people will throw out there, calling him, of course, a cheater, a liar, a jerk, etc. You can think however you want about those two, and whatever other players are known to be jerks, but in this video, I'm going to focus on neither of them, but rather Josh Donaldson, someone who I believe could have a good argument as to why he's the biggest jerk in baseball. Now, that's not necessarily something a player would want to be called or known as, but for a dude like Donaldson, I don't think he cares, and I think that can be a good thing, at least for him. But to truly know why Josh Donaldson is the way that he is, you have to go all the way back to his childhood. Thank you to Pristine Auction for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know about pristineauction.com, they are the most trusted sports memorabilia and collectibles auction site. Auctions on pristineauction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over thousands of autographed items available. So you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Affordable deals are happening all the time on pristineauction.com, and they have just about every player you could want. So if you want old school or new school, they've got you. Every item on pristineauction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item one when you use code iTalk. Be sure to sign up now because there are deals ending every single day. But wait, they have supplied me with a giveaway for you guys. I have received a baseball signed by World Series champion Alex Bregman. To be eligible to win, all you have to do is sign up on their website using my registration code iTalk to be entered. Links are in the comments and description. Once again, in order to win that Alex Bregman signed baseball, all you have to do is sign up on their website using my registration code iTalk to be entered. Links are in the comments and description. Now, back to the video. To start, Josh Donaldson is from Florida. Okay, video over. Now you know why he's so crazy. Thank you for watching. In all seriousness, Florida is where it all began for Donaldson. Josh Donaldson was born in a very toxic and bad household due to his father being a criminal and domestic abuser, with Josh seeing disturbing things when he was as young as 3 years old, like the horrible things he'd see his father do to his mother. His parents would eventually separate, but that didn't stop Josh's father from assaulting his mother, with him breaking into their house to attack her, with Josh recalling that there was nothing his young self could do to stop it. It was a beyond horrible situation. His father would eventually get thrown in prison in 1992 when Josh was about 6 years old on charges of sexual battery, false imprisonment, aggravated assault, drug offenses, and spousal abuse. And with that, Josh's mother Lisa was forced to raise him all by herself, and it was definitely for the best. Lisa worked day and night at her family's bar, relying on her brother to provide the young boy with a good male influence. And from a young age, Lisa, despite being a victim of abuse, instilled the anti-victim mindset into Josh, always ingraining in him to work hard. Everything that he gets in life, he's going to have to go out and outwork people and not to make excuses for what's going on. Because of this rough and non-easy upbringing, you can definitely see why Josh gained a personality with a ton of edge to it, and it would end up propelling him to a ton of success in life. Despite that success, that doesn't necessarily mean others accepted him. Parents in Little League hated him, going as far as to boo Donaldson as young as 10 years old for hitting opposing batters, with his mother Lisa overhearing another parent talking badly about her son. In response, she went and confronted that parent, told her off, and ordered her to never talk about her son ever again. During his high school days, Josh played basketball and football along with baseball, with things getting pretty intense after a basketball game one night. After the game, Donaldson was confronted by 10 of the opposing team's players. It was just Donaldson versus 10 other people. Donaldson was ready to take them all on in a 1v10 before his coach jumped in and broke it up. These were just previews of what was to come in Donaldson's life as an athlete. So you have Josh's pretty rough upbringing, and now add that on to the doubt that surrounded him throughout his life and still does to this day, and it kind of all adds up. In 2007, Donaldson was drafted by the Chicago Cubs, but after just a year, the Cubs didn't see enough potential in the 23-year-old, so they traded him to the Oakland A's, and nobody really gave much thought to the trade, including the media outlets who had him named as John Donaldson in the headline for the trade. Nobody foresaw what was coming, except for Josh himself, his mother, someone who prevented him from quitting baseball when he was in Double-A, and perhaps the A's front office, at least somewhat. Donaldson went on to make his major league debut in 2010, only playing in 14 games and going on to play the entire 2011 season in AAA Sacramento, officially converting to a full-time third baseman by spring training of 2012 and became the team's starting third baseman, at least for the first half. Unfortunately, he was really bad, with the A's sending him back down to AAA to figure things out. But after an injury which forced the A's to call Donaldson back up, he played much better, helping the A's win their division and make it to the postseason, going on to hit a crucial double in Game 4 of the ALDS. In 2013, Josh Donaldson became one of the best third basemen and all-around players in all of baseball, playing well both offensively and defensively, and played almost every single game, helping push the A's to their second straight division win. 2014 wasn't quite as good for Josh, but he was still a solid hitter, and this is when we started to see Donaldson get into some on-field confrontations. In April of 2014, Josh Donaldson hit a very deep foul ball and looked at it for a little bit. The man on the mound, Glenn Perkins, did not appreciate it.
He doesn't like that. Not one bit.
And chirped at Donaldson after striking him out, only for Donaldson to yell right back, clearing the benches. You then have the whole Machado-Donaldson altercation that took place in the summer of 2014, when Donaldson tagged Machado, only for Machado to throw his helmet at Donaldson on his way down to the ground. Donaldson was confused, the benches cleared, and Machado went on to throw his bat at third base the very next day, with Donaldson not even being at third at that moment. The A's went on to clinch a wildcard spot, blow a lead to the Royals in the wildcard game, with Salvador Perez's game-winning hit getting past the reach of Donaldson at third base. And on to the 2015 season we'd go. Except that was the last play Donaldson would be wearing an A's uniform in. In November of 2014, the A's traded Josh Donaldson across the border to the Toronto Blue Jays, shocking the baseball world and even the Blue Jays themselves, who assumed Donaldson would be off limits when asking for him. But when you look a little deeper into the behind the scenes, it actually wasn't that shocking. The reality is that the Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane and Josh Donaldson were pretty much at war with one another. During the season, Donaldson and Beane got into a heated verbal altercation where Donaldson told manager Bob Melvin he needed a couple of days off after Oakland had played several days in a row. According to the report, Beane told Donaldson if he needed a couple of days off, the club should put him on the disabled list, and that made Donaldson upset. Donaldson told his manager Bob Melvin that he needed a day off, and Melvin had no problem with it, saying, "You got it," taking him out of the lineup. When that night's lineup came out, Billy angrily asked, "Where's Donaldson?" demanding that Melvin put him back into the lineup. And Donaldson and Beane got into it, with Beane ripping Donaldson a new one, with Donaldson himself reiterating his need for a day off and disrespecting Beane by calling him Billy Boy. With the same source who revealed this story saying, "Nobody talks to Billy that way," it did not surprise me in the least that he got rid of Donaldson. And during the offseason, not long before he was traded to the Blue Jays, Donaldson tweeted out a shot at the A's, saying that they have plenty of money, but they just tell everyone they don't. Billy Beane himself decided to shoot down any notion that he traded Donaldson in large part due to that fight and drama, but it's definitely something that seems like it could have played a factor. Nonetheless, Donaldson was off to Toronto and he only got better. And by better, I mean he became the best hitter in 2015. In 2015, Josh Donaldson hit 41 home runs, drove in 123 runs, became an All-Star for the second time, won a Silver Slugger Award and the American League MVP Award, going on to get put on the cover of MLB The Show 16. Throughout his elite 2015 campaign, the fire within him certainly did not take a break. In the first inning in a game in August, Donaldson was drilled by Royals pitcher Edinson Volquez, and was not happy about it, with the two exchanging some words. In his next at-bat, Donaldson got a pitch up and in, and was even more angry this time. So the Jays decided to take matters into their own hands, throwing at a Royals hitter only for their pitcher to get ejected, clearing the benches. Blue Jays drama most certainly did not stop there. During the ALDS between the Blue Jays and Rangers, Donaldson wasn't too happy with Rangers pitcher Keone Kela quick pitching him, cursing at him and leading to the benches clearing. There of course ended up being the Jose Bautista bat flip that boiled over into 2016 when Bautista caught a punch right in the jaw, breaking out a brawl which featured Donaldson running out without any care in the world to tackle Odor. In 2016, Josh Donaldson was arguably even better than he was in his MVP year, leading the Blue Jays to another postseason appearance where they'd beat the Rangers again, this time sweeping them. He'd go on to have yet another elite season and an overall disappointing 2017 season for the Blue Jays, and was very limited in playing time in 2018 due to injuries, getting traded in late August to Cleveland, where he'd only play some games for in the last month before becoming a free agent, signing a one-year $23 million deal with the Atlanta Braves for 2019. During a game with the Braves, after getting brushed with a pitch from Pirates pitcher Joe Musgrove, Donaldson looked back at Musgrove, who was looking right at him, and the two got into a heated argument which led to the bench's clearing. Overall, Donaldson had a very solid season in 2019, winning National League Comeback Player of the Year and becoming a free agent yet again, this time signing a 4-year, $92 million deal with the Minnesota Twins. In 2020, his first year in Minnesota, Donaldson only played in so many games due to injuries on top of the already shortened season. Despite this, he still had one of the most memorable moments of that year. Josh Donaldson is no stranger to yelling and screaming at umpires. Now, you may think a lot of that disrespect is warranted, that's up for you to decide, but Donaldson is not afraid to blatantly disrespect them. After taking a strike that was very clearly off the plate, Donaldson looked up at the umpire Dan Bellino and had some words for him. On the very next pitch, Donaldson hit a home run and got ejected after crossing home plate and kicking the dirt a few times. After the game, Donaldson doubled down on his actions, saying that he felt great about it, and pointed out the fact that there isn't any accountability for umpires. 2021 was a solid year for Donaldson, with him playing a good amount of games and hitting real well. But what would be an MLB season without some Josh Donaldson drama? 2021 was all about the sticky stuff. The foreign substances pitchers were using to better spin the baseball like spider tack, with Garrett Cole being at the front and center of it all. Josh Donaldson was very vocal with his opinion when talking about what pitchers across the league were doing, mentioning Garrett Cole by name. And after hitting a home run off of Lucas Giolito in a game against the White Sox, Donaldson yelled, "It's not sticky anymore," to his Twins dugout after crossing home plate.
Here, once again, here, once again, here, once again.
Giolito was not happy about that, calling Donaldson an effing pest, classless, and that if he has anything to say, he should say it to his face. Well, Donaldson saw what Giolito said, and what did he do? He listened, going and confronting Giolito face to face in the parking lot, and according to Donaldson, this is what happened.
He was walking to the parking lot and I saw him, and I went and made sure he heard what I had to say to his face, because that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. You know, he said that he thought it was annoying. I said, so what? I'm on the opposing team. What do you care about me? I said, I'm in your face. I'm telling you what I think. What do you got to say about that? And he didn't have any response.
According to Giolito, this is what happened.
Conversation itself was a little confusing in the parking lot because I thought that he'd be a lot more like aggressive, considering what I just said about him. But it was just like, you know, he was kind of making his points about you know, all the spin rate stuff that he's been on for this entire season, and about how his action after the home run was directed at his team, not directed at me, not for me. We're competing, we're doing this, etc., etc. Stand by what I said. I'm not trying to take anything back. It is what it is. You know, he said, what did he say? That I didn't have much to say. That's not necessarily false. Like, I didn't really have anything left to say. I said what I said already. It's like, well, that's that.
Did you hear from any guys around the sport? I'm always curious if
I heard from a lot of guys, yes.
During the offseason, the baseball world was shocked when Donaldson was traded to the Yankees, with of course the big elephant in the room being the fact that Donaldson and Garrett Cole would now be teammates. The beef between the two was immediately squashed in spring training, with the two going on to seemingly become friends throughout the season. But then came Josh Donaldson, the racist. Well, at least that's what some decided to refer to him as. During a game in Chicago between the White Sox and Yankees, Tim Anderson wasn't happy with Donaldson for trying to push him off of the third base bag. This was later followed with kind of a hard slide into second base later on, with the two exchanging some more words, and the next time the two teams faced each other, this time in New York, things got a little more intense. The beef kept boiling with Anderson and Donaldson, exchanging words with Anderson having to be held back, and nothing really escalated. Well, that is until Donaldson Donaldson's next at-bat after White Sox catcher Yasmani Grandal had some words to say. The bench is cleared, but it was what took place afterward that had everyone talking and picking a side. According to Tim Anderson, Donaldson was calling him Jackie, in reference to his comments he made back in 2019 when he said he felt like he was the Jackie Robinson of making baseball fun again, something Anderson did not appreciate being called. Donaldson's explanation was that he found it to be friendly banter, with Anderson saying that he previously told Donaldson not to talk to him anymore, so clearly the two weren't friendly. But then the racist accusations started flowing through. A couple of White Sox players voiced their displeasure for Donaldson, with reliever Joe Kelly calling his comments racist.
When you make a racist remark to someone that is obviously, number one, on the other team, number two, not your friend, and then say it was an inside joke, kind of what Liam said, you usually have inside jokes with people who you're really close with.
Josh Donaldson can certainly be a bit of an asshole, no doubt, but was he being racist in that moment with Anderson? No, he wasn't. He was just kind of being a jerk to someone he clearly isn't friendly with and who doesn't like him. Later in the season, during a game against the Rays, Donaldson and Rays pitcher Jeffrey Springs started chirping each other as Springs walked toward his dugout while Donaldson was in his dugout. The very next day, Donaldson took a pitch up and in, got mad, the bench is cleared, and nothing really happened after that. I think what happened in October of 2022 perfectly sums up how Josh Donaldson is as a player and as a person. It was just a little thing that happened. A lot of people don't even know that it happened, but I think it perfectly sums him up. During Game 1 of the ALCS in Houston, after taking a pitch outside for a ball, Astros catcher Martin Maldonado framed it, hoping to get the strike call, only for Donaldson to start jawing at Maldonado.
Maldonado's trying to hold that for a strike, trying to get it for a strike, and Donaldson voiced his opinion.
I think he said, throw the ball back.
Exactly.
It's outside.
Let's go.
Nothing came from this, the benches didn't clear, and no drama proceeded. But this really shows just how on edge Josh Donaldson is at all times, even for the slightest of things. Josh Donaldson is a jerk, but that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, at least for him. Donaldson's pretty dark childhood paved the way for him to always have a chip on his shoulder with the need to also always prove people wrong. Having the edge that he has gotten him pretty far in his overall successful career, and it will be interesting to see if he can bounce back from his poor 2022 season. Let me know what you think about Josh Donaldson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.